Hi everyone, this is Brenda from Mainly Hybrid Homesteading. Today I'm continuing to work on putting stuff away in my pantry, things that I've been buying, rice and oats and sugar and flour and that kind of stuff. Now I'm finally having the time to take care of it and put it away for a longer term shortage. Yesterday I put stuff in Mylar bags and used up all of those. So I ordered some more, but I also store things in canning jars with oxygen absorbers or with just vacuum sealing with a brake bleeder. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Going to be using some jars. I was finally able to get some half-gallon jars at Walmart. And I like to store like my flours and pasta and things like that in these larger jars. And I store like beans and lentils and things that I don't want, I just want like a meal or two in a jar kind of thing. I don't want to have a whole half-gallon of beans that I need to open up and then I have to use it. So I do have oxygen absorbers, and I will leave a link down below. These are 300 cc oxygen absorbers, and for a quart jar you need a 100 cc oxygen absorber. So I can use a bigger one if that's all I have, and then a gallon jar would be 400 cc oxygen absorbers. So these are only half a gallon, but if I had a gallon I'd have to use 2 of these. So these are quick and easy. You fill your jar, you throw in the oxygen absorber, and then you're done. You put your cover on and your lid, and that's it. But if you don't have oxygen absorbers on hand and you don't have electricity, then the brake bleeder is definitely a good option and a cheaper option. So I will leave a link down below to Rogue Preparedness. She has a great chart on things that you can use oxygen absorbers with and things that you shouldn't use oxygen absorbers with. And the main 2 things you don't want to use them with is sugar and salt, because then you'll end up with a brick of sugar and salt. But there's a lot of other things that you can use. They don't recommend using it with things that have oils in them because it can help them go rancid faster, I believe. So I have a funnel here. It's not necessary to use them. It's definitely a useful tool, and they're under $10. I also have a plastic one, but when I'm canning hot liquids and stuff like that, I definitely want this metal one so I'm not leaching any of the plastic particles in there. And these are normally used for food saver. If you have a food saver machine, it comes with tubing to connect to the machine, but you can adjust it to hook up to the brake bleeder. So you have one for wide mouth jars and one for regular mouth jars. So first I'm going to start with a quart-size jar, and we have some northern beans here, and I find that for a quart-size jar it takes about 1.5 pounds. So we'll fill it up. When it gets to be about halfway, I like to just tamp down the beans because it makes more space. I think I see a pinto bean in there. Okay, so we have our jar filled, and I'm just going to wipe the rim with a dry cloth to make sure there's no residue on there that might hamper the sealing process. And before we got started today, I washed these jars and I put them in the oven at 250 degrees for half an hour to sterilize them, to make sure that they're really clean. I know some people will actually put the food in there. They do what they call dry canning, and that's not a recommended process. And I think it's been known to be, kind of dangerous as far as bacteria and stuff like that. So we just putting the lid on, and then we are going to use the regular mouth, and we're going to put that on the jar. So brake bleeder is really made for brakes on your car. So you have your dial gauge here, and this is the tubing that came with the food saver lids. And these are about $12. They fluctuate in price. Sometimes they're $20 on Amazon. And this did have, so it has this connection here that's going to go into my cover here, and then there was another connector here, but I cut it off so it could attach to the nipple on the brake bleeder. And I will leave a link down below to the brake bleeder kit that I got off of Amazon. But you can also find them, in automotive stores. So we're just going to put this on top of our lid. Make sure you have a tight connection there. Just going to pump the brake bleeder. So I like to just put it against the counter. Okay, so my needle is not moving, so I don't have a good seal here. Some people say using used lids will make a better. So let's make sure we're clean here and try again. Oh, now our needle's starting to move. So it varies. If I get it up around 5, I'm doing okay, but you can get it up at 10 or 15 sometimes to really get a good seal. I'm going to see how high I can get it up now. It's moving very slow. Sometimes you get it right away, and sometimes you struggle. Okay, it only went up to like 3. Let's see if we made a seal. No, it's still inverted. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try a different lid. And my little gasket here it comes out when I take it off. That's okay, you can just pop it back in. This is what it should look like when it's in correctly. Okay. Okay, our needle is moving. So far, this one is looking better. So it does take some more effort. So if you have issues with strength, or if you actually have a food saver machine, then get this attachment, because it's going to help a lot, and it'll save you some money. Okay, I got it to about a 4. Looking better so far. So you can see that our lid is flat. Good. We have a good seal. Okay. So this was a couple pounds, and you see I have about half a pound left. So I'm going to label this jar with the date, or what's in it, the date that I'm doing it, and the expiration date. It'll last beyond the expiration date now that it's sealed, but it kind of gives me an idea of, you know, how much older it actually is and what needs to be used up first on the shelf. So I'm going to show you how I use the oxygen absorbers. I had this jar of split peas that I wasn't able to vacuum seal, and so I had put a oxygen absorber in, which did not work, but these were my older ones. So I'm going to put, I had one left over from yesterday with my new ones. So again, you're going to want to make sure that your jar is clean and that there's no nicks or any defects on the rim. And gonna put my new one in there. You want to leave enough space so you can actually put it in there. And I'm just gonna screw it on really tight. And this won't seal right away, but in the next few hours you should see the lids sink down, and you know that you've made a good seal. So this is wicked easy if that's the way you want to go, and you can afford the oxygen absorbers, or if you just don't want to deal with the brake pump. But the brake pump, like I said, is a good option if you don't have electricity, but you still want to preserve some food. So I wanted to show you guys how to vacuum seal powdery things like flour. Here I have some lemon lime Gatorade, and a little bit later on I'm going to be doing arrowroot powder, which really goes everywhere when you're pouring it. The only thing that I'm going to be doing different is putting the bottom of a regular coffee filter. I just cut it out, and it fits nicely in the wide mouth jars. If you have the regular mouth jars that you're using, you'll just have to cut it a little bit smaller. And so you're going to leave, you know, a good inch head space so you have place to put the filter. And what this is going to do, it's going to prevent any of the powder from going up into the tubing of your vacuum sealer if you're using a food saver, or in my case I'm using the brake bleeder. And then you just clean your rim like you normally would. Get rid of any powder. And then you'll be good to go to vacuum seal it from there. If you are using a food saver and you want to save some flour in your food saver bags, I would recommend putting your flour in one of these lunch bags. Yes, I finally found some. I don't think anybody uses these anymore, for lunches anyway. So you would put flour in there and leave enough room so you can fold down the top of the bag a few times, and then put it in your food saver bag and vacuum seal it from there. And again, that'll prevent any flour ruining your food saver machine. I have been looking for this flavor of Gatorade forever, Can't find it at Walmart, can't find it in any of the grocery stores, but I did find it on Amazon, and this 4-pound, 12-ounce container was just under $10. So I'm sealing this up. It'll last longer than the Best Buy date. I definitely don't want to put an oxygen absorber in these because it does have sugar and it'll turn into a brick. But I know that vacuum sealing it will keep the moisture out and preserve it longer and keeping it in a cool, dry place. And so I'm going to keep going here and keep organizing my pantry. Let me know what you guys have been doing in your pantry to get organized. It just, like I said, the most important thing is to buy the food, and organizing it comes second. But it was getting to the point where I could barely walk in that room because everything was in shopping bags. So it's going to feel good to at least have it in jars, and I'll be able to see what I have and be able to add these to my inventory list. Thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions or comments down below, please let me know. And like I said, I'll leave that chart down below in the description box by Rogue Preparedness on basically preserving foods and different methods that you can use for each food. And I found that very helpful when I was starting out, because some of it was a lot of confusing information out there, but this kind of really broke it down for me. Please like and share this video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and we'll see you next time. Bye.